In the book South of Freedom, I read chapters 5 through 6. In chapter 5, in accordance with the laws, they are free. The chapter starts off with a slave named Honorine, a woman. She escapes her plantation and for months is undiscoverable. They don't know where she's at, and they have reason to believe she is dead, although she happens to be in Mexico. Due to Mexico allowing runaway slaves, and she took refuge there because Mexico at the time did not return slaves back to their masters. And this, however, would come to like a compromise, kind of, since the U.S. and Mexico shared a territory at the time, which is Coahuila and Texas, mostly Texas. That was established as Mexican territory, but American, but they just never got to agree. A man by the name of Anthony Butler, he's an ambassador, like a consul part, that would try to negotiate to find treaties between both countries in order to come to an agreement, so runaway slaves that would run into Mexico would be returned back to the U.S. to their masters. And for a long time, the treaties were not able to happen due to Mexico's fears of believing that they believed the neighboring country was invading them while they were being taken advantage of, pretty much. And pretty much slavery in Mexico wasn't able to expand or happen without being unchecked due to the government's like overseeing and what's it called. Many people believed that this was bad. They saw that they believed that the slaveholders believed that Mexico would not keep their promise. They believed that, oh, they're lying about the whole slavery thing. They want the slaves to themselves. And this started a lot of speculation around U.S. camps here in southern Texas, here in the southern states, mostly in Texas at the time. And as revolts were documented of slaves finding out this information and running to Mexico, and this angered a lot of slaveholders, which led to the Texas Revolution. And in chapter 6, it is known as chapter 6, the Texas Revolution, which took place in 1835 to 1837. The beginning of the chapter starts with the history of the Come and Take It, which happens with its people, Stephen F. Austin, that he managed to take a cannon from Mexican armies and he placed it in Gonzales, Texas. The Mexican army went over to take it back as Stephen F. Austin and the rebellion and people shot back. Later on, this was like the first official scuffle of the Texas Revolution, as General Cos, which is the in-law brother of Santa Anna, led the first attack on the Alamo, and he came out unsuccessful. So Santa Anna sent out more. Santa Anna being the president of Mexico at the time, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, and he sent 10,000 men over. A general by the name of, which we all know, hopefully we all know, Sam Houston. He was in charge of the mission James Bowie and William B. Travis, and another man who is not mentioned but is known is Davy Crockett. They led the battle at the Alamo, although they were seriously they were overwhelmed. It was 30-1, about 2,000 Mexicans and only 200 rebels. And in one of the stories, there was a slave by the name of Joe who belonged to William Travis, and he was forced to fight against the Mexicans, although he really wanted freedom. And at the end of the battle, it was just him who was left alive. Later on, at the Battle of San Jacinto, Santana was captured, and he signed a treaty saying that Texas is a part of its own, that they could do whatever they want with the slaves and stuff. And as a result, Texas became independent for about 10 months. And after all the cost and stuff, they found out that they were better off in the hands of another country, being the U.S., and they decided to become annexed. I forgot, I'm sorry. And Mexico, slavery was abolished. They went back to normal. And slavery, it happened. The Texas Revolution happened due to the conflict of slavery and freedom between the rights of the country, of the state of Texas, and the slaves. And that's pretty much the end of the story of my book. Thank you. A nice little side note is that Joe, the slave, at the end, he managed to go to Texas to gain his freedom that he was promised in Mexico. Thank you.